It's America's most expensive and powerful helicopter ever, just revealed by the U.S. Marine Corps. Unlike anything the world has seen before, standing taller and stronger than anything that came before it. CH-53K King Stallion merges raw power, state-of-the-art technology, a staggering $131 million price tag, built to transport tanks, armored vehicles, and up to 37 fully armed troops. Completely redefines what heavy lift means in today's battlefield. From its 3 enormous turboshaft engines to its advanced flight controls and reinforced armor, every part screams dominance. But what truly makes this machine a beast? And why is it pricier than any helicopter in U.S. history? The answer is hidden in its engineering. The giant awakens. The desert sun glinted off the massive rotors of the CH-53K King Stallion as it sat on the tarmac, a metallic giant seeming almost alive. Its 7 composite blades extended outward like the wings of a hunting bird. Marines and engineers moved around it with awe and caution, eyes tracing every curve, panel, and rivet. This wasn't just a helicopter. It was a flying fortress, a mobile engine of war built to change the rules of heavy lift aviation. "You won't believe what this thing can lift," muttered Major Daniels, a seasoned Marine who had seen decades of operations in deserts, jungles, and mountains. He watched the rotor slowly start to spin, the vibration humming through the ground like the heartbeat of a giant waking from slumber. Capable of lifting up to 36,000 pounds externally, the King Stallion could carry 2 fully armored HMWVs in a single flight. Vehicles that would usually need either a full transport plane or a convoy of smaller helicopters to move. Inside, the cabin was just as impressive. 2 10,000-pound AMC 463L pallets fit easily into its widened fuselage, expanded by 12 inches over its predecessor. Every detail reflected precision engineering. Reinforced floors, tie-down rails, corrosion-resistant panels, and modular seating that could be rearranged for troops, vehicles, or medevac gear. Its composite fuselage, built to withstand salt spray, sandstorms, and enemy fire, paired with energy-absorbing landing gear, allowed the King Stallion to survive conditions that would ground nearly any other aircraft. Its 3 GT408 engines, each producing 7,500 shaft horsepower, hummed quietly, holding the promise of unmatched U.S. military power. A split-torque gearbox translated all that energy into smooth, controlled lift, while fly-by-wire controls let pilots handle the helicopter's immense power with the lightest touch, almost like flying a feather instead of a giant. Every system, from the integrated vehicle health monitoring system to redundant electronics, was designed to detect problems before they happened, keeping the King Stallion ready for the most dangerous, remote missions. And all this comes at a price: $131 million per helicopter, including research, development, and support infrastructure, making it the most expensive U.S. helicopter ever. Critics might flint fortress in the sky. The CH-53K isn't just a heavy-lift helicopter. It's a flying fortress. More than 75% of its fuselage is made from advanced composite materials, giving it incredible strength without adding extra weight. Energy-absorbing landing gear ensures that even a harsh or catastrophic landing won't damage the airframe. Corrosion-resistant coatings and foldable rotors let the King Stallion safely dock on naval ships, ready for amphibious missions or stormy conditions at a moment's notice. "It's like a Swiss Army knife on steroids," joked Sergeant Lewis, his eyes shining as he gestured at the massive cabin. It can drop troops, carry vehicles, and still survive if a sudden storm hits. The cabin has been widened by a full foot compared to the CH-53E, letting it carry larger payload with ease. With a gross weight of 88,000 pounds, it's built for expeditionary missions, lifting tanks, transporting troops, or delivering supplies from ship to shore under the toughest conditions. Every detail, from fuselage materials to rotor design, was made for one goal: unmatched performance under pressure. But even with these advanced systems and materials, no helicopter is invincible. Mechanical failure can still be deadly. So what steps did engineers take to make sure the King Stallion survives when lives are on the line? Resilient and ready. On the tarmac, the CH-53K sits like a mechanical giant, rotor still, yet buzzing with untapped energy. Its true strength isn't just raw power, it's intelligence. predictive maintenance is the heart of this machine. The Integrated Vehicle Health Monitoring System, IVHMS, constantly gathers data from every part of the helicopter. Engine vibrations, rotor strain, hydraulic pressure, temperature changes, even tiny cracks forming in the composite fuselage. This flood of information flows seamlessly to onboard systems and ground crews, letting technicians spot and fix potential issues before they become critical. The split-torque gearbox, which channels nearly 20,500 horsepower from its 3 engines to the rotor system, is built to handle extreme stress without faltering. Composite rotor blades resist erosion from sandstorms and salt water, while the T408 engines, with fewer moving parts than older models, reduce points where catastrophic failures could occur. Every line of code in the IVHMS, every weld, and every bolt was designed for one purpose: survival. Every part, from the rotors to the electronics, has a backup or failsafe, said Dr. Simmons, one of the lead engineers, his voice low with respect. We built this helicopter to survive situations that would destroy anything else. Even with all this planning, advanced technology comes with a hefty price. And the question isn't just how much, it's why. Price of power. The CH-53K King Stallion isn't just the most powerful helicopter the U.S. military has ever built. It's also the priciest. The total program cost is around $27.7 billion, covering research, development, testing, production setup, and support systems. Each helicopter carries a staggering price tag of $131 million, though the initial flyaway cost started at $87 million before later units, after upgrades and production refinements, rose closer to $97 million. Several factors contribute to this massive price. First, there's a cutting-edge technology: composite rotor blades, fly-by-wire controls, and the IVHMS all push aviation to its limits. The 3 T408 engines are powerful enough to lift tanks, trucks, or an entire platoon in a single mission, while safety features like energy-absorbing landing gear protect both crew and cargo during hard landings. Marine and shipboard compatibility adds even more complexity, requiring corrosion-resistant materials, foldable rotors, and reinforced landing systems for naval operations. Then there are the hidden costs, non-recurring engineering expenses like tooling, initial production setup, and exhaustive testing. Most people never consider these, but they are essential to make sure each helicopter meets the strict standards of the U.S. Marine Corps. Some people shake their heads at the cost, admitted Major Daniels, arms folded as he watched the King Stallion lift off. But when you're moving tanks from ship to shore in a desert under fire, every penny is worth it. Even with such a monumental investment, one question lingers: can a King Stallion truly justify its price? Is it just an engineering marvel or a real game changer on a battlefield? Battle-tested in concept. Before the CH-53K ever carried Marines or cargo into the sky, it went through intense testing in simulators and controlled environments. Engineers built massive mock deserts, complete with sandstorms, jagged terrain, and heat radiating off a tarmac, along with rough sea setups to simulate the rocking decks of amphibious assault ships. Every possible mission, from vertical extractions under enemy fire to high-altitude cargo lifts, was repeated over and over, pushing the helicopter to the very limits of its design. Pilots practiced rapid amphibious extractions, loading and unloading troops and vehicles in quick succession, while systems engineers tracked every vibration, rotor flex, and torque reading. Each successful maneuver proved one thing clearly: the King Stallion wasn't just another helicopter. It was a revolutionary force for modern combat. One particularly striking demonstration left even veteran Marines stunned. The CH-53K lifted not just one, but 2 fully armored HMWVs in extreme heat and at high altitude, a task that would ground nearly every other heavy-lift helicopter in the U.S. fleet. It's like comparing a sports car to a freight train, said Captain Reynolds, wiping sweat from his brow. The power is insane, but it's smooth, precise, and completely under control. You can feel the helicopter thinking ahead for you. Even with such raw strength, pilots noticed a surprising level of finesse. Tiny fly-by-wire inputs allowed for pinpoint accuracy when maneuvering in tight spaces, while the wide cabin and reinforced landing gear offered unmatched flexibility and safety. Every test confirmed the same truth. The CH-53K can accomplish missions that were once thought impossible, standing above the rest. So, how does this massive new helicopter stack up against the rest of the world's heavy-lift aircraft? The answer is clear. Nothing even comes close. Within the U.S. fleet, the CH-53K outshines its predecessor, the CH-53E Super Stallion, by nearly 50% more lift capacity. Globally, only the Russian Mi-26 comes close in sheer payload, but it's an older design without modern avionics, fly-by-wire controls, or predictive maintenance systems that let the CH-53K operate reliably in the toughest conditions. European heavy-lift helicopters, like the Airbus H225M Caracal or Sikorsky S-92, simply cannot match the King Stallion's combination of payload, range, and versatility, especially in amphibious assaults or high-altitude desert missions. When we finally needed a helicopter that could do everything, move vehicles, carry troops, deliver supplies anywhere, under any conditions, this was it, explained Lieutenant Commander Hughes. Arms crossed as the rotors of C-53K hummed in the background. Nothing else even comes close. From lifting tanks to deploying special operations teams from amphibious ships to mountainous terrain, the King Stallion redefines how the Marine Corps projects power. It gives commanders options that were simply impossible before. Yet even with all this unmatched performance, one question remains. Why did development take decades, and why did the cost climb into the tens of billions? Titans before the Stallion, a legacy of lift. Long before the CH-53K King Stallion ruled the skies with its unmatched strength, the story of heavy-lift helicopters was already one of ambition, innovation, and rising costs. What started as fragile, experimental aircraft nearly a century ago has grown into battlefield giants, each generation stronger, faster, and smarter than the last. The journey begins in the 1940s and 1950s, when early heavy-lift workhorses like the Sikorsky H-19 Chickasaw and the CH-37 Mojave first revealed the military potential of helicopters. These massive machines could carry soldiers, supplies, and light vehicles, but they were slow, guzzle fuel, and mechanically unpredictable. Every mission required precise planning, too much weight, and the aircraft would struggle to lift off, too little, and it wasn't efficient. By the 1960s, the CH-53C Stallion changed the game for the U.S. Marine Corps. Its three T-64 engines delivered unprecedented lift, while the internal cabin could transport both troops and vehicles in a single flight. It wasn't cheap, costing $3 to $4 million per helicopter, roughly $25 to $30 million today, but its performance justified every penny. Every pound lifted, every soldier safely delivered, mattered in a world defined by jungle, desert, and urban conflicts. The CH-53E Super Stallion, introduced in the 1980s, pushed the envelope even further. Its three T-64 G416A engines produced 4,380 shaft horsepower each, allowing the helicopter to carry 27,000 pounds excellently, around a 50% increase over the original Sea Stallion. Achieving this required extraordinary engineering. A split-torque main gearbox, wider rotors, and reinforced landing gear all came together to create a marvel of aviation. The cost reflected that ambition. Unit prices reached $18 to $20 million, and factoring in research, development, and early production, the program soared into billions of dollars. The logic was simple. Heavier lift meant fewer missions, fewer helicopters at risk, and more operational flexibility. Globally, other nations tried to compete. The Soviet Mi-26 Halo, still the largest helicopter in production, could lift up to 44,000 pounds, but it had limitations: outdated avionics, analog controls, and less reliable maintenance. European designs like the NH-90 and CH-47 Chinook were capable, but they couldn't match the U.S. heavy-lift helicopters in lift, speed, or survivability. History shows a consistent truth. Power is expensive, and militaries are willing to pay for it. The story of heavy-lift helicopters is really about doing more while reducing risk, explained Lieutenant Commander Hughes, watching a CH-53K engine warm up. Every generation aimed to lift heavier loads, fly farther, and survive harsher conditions. And every generation got more expensive, because creating a machine that can do all that isn't cheap. By the early 2000s, When the CH-53K program officially began, expectations had changed. It wasn't enough to just lift vehicles anymore. The military demanded speed, survivability, advanced electronics, predictive maintenance, and marine compatibility. Each feature added cost, bringing the price per helicopter to $131 million, with total program costs topping $27 billion. Yet, in context, the King Stallion is a natural heir to a line of heavy-lift titans, each one building on decades of technological advances and battlefield experience. From the first Chickasaws to the massive Super Stallions, one lesson is clear. When it comes to moving the heaviest loads in extreme conditions, cost isn't just measured in dollars. It's measured in capability and lives saved. Every lift increase, every material upgrade, every engine improvement has been paid for over decades with engineering ambition and human lives. And yet, even with this long legacy of triumph and innovation, one question still looms. Can the most expensive helicopter in history justify its staggering price on today's battlefield, where threats are faster, smarter, and deadlier than ever? And why did it take so long to achieve? Years in the making. The CH-53K program officially kicked off in the early 2000s, but its story goes back decades of research, testing, and engineering breakthroughs. Labs have been developing new composite alloys for rotor blades, stronger and lighter than anything before. Engineers experimented with elastomeric rotor hubs that replaced traditional metal joints, cutting down wear and dramatically boosting reliability. At the same time, turbine specialists pushed the GE-T408 engines to their limits, making sure each could deliver 7,500 shaft horsepower while standing up to desert sandstorms, corrosive ocean salt, and scorching high-altitude heat. Meanwhile, avionics teams worked relentlessly on fly-by-wire systems, integrated health monitoring, and advanced cockpit displays, turning complex machinery into controls pilots could handle intuitively. "We wanted more than just a helicopter," said Dr. Simmons, lead systems engineer. "We wanted a strategic tool, one that could go anywhere, lift anything, and survive anything." It's not just about flying, it's about battlefield dominance. Getting there took years of simulations, prototypes, and constant redesigns. Every failure, cracked blades, overheated gearboxes, lagging software, was carefully studied and corrected. Each fix added time, manpower, and cost, driving the program's price into billions. But the result is a machine unlike anything in modern aviation, a flying fortress capable of lifting entire armored vehicles, a marvel where raw power meets precise control, and a heavy-lift beast built to survive the harshest environments. Yet, even after decades of work, one question remained. What does this mean for the future of warfare and military aviation? A glimpse into the future. With its unmatched mix of power, durability, and cutting-edge technology, the CH-53K isn't just an upgrade. It's a revolution in U.S. military aviation. Commanders now have a helicopter that can carry more, fly farther, and endure harsher conditions than anything that came before. From rapid troop deployments to transporting critical supplies in dangerous zones, the King Stallion extends the reach and flexibility of the Marine Corps like never before. And yet, as the massive rotors slice through the sky and sunlight reflects off its composite fuselage, one question lingers in the minds of pilots and engineers. How will this incredible machine change the way wars are fought? And what missions will it make possible that were once unimaginable? The CH-53K King Stallion has ushered in a new era of heavy-lift power for the U.S. Marine Corps. Unlike its predecessors, this helicopter is more than just a transport vehicle. It's a strategic weapon on the battlefield. Survivability is built into every inch. Its fuselage, made of over 75% advanced composites, resists corrosion, extreme heat, and ballistic threats. Energy-absorbing landing gear ensures that even rough or improvised landings leave both crew and cargo safe. Meanwhile, fly-by-wire controls, guided by the Advanced Integrated Vehicle Health Monitoring System, IVHMS, let pilots operate this 88,000-pound giant with the precision of a sports car, turning raw horsepower into controlled, devastating performance. But it's not just brute strength. The CH-53K redefines modern warfare. Commanders can now move troops and vehicles faster than any adversary can react, creating tactical options that rival even the most advanced armored units. Whether performing amphibious assaults, high-altitude desert insertions, or long-range logistical missions, the King Stallion combines speed, power, and intelligence in a way no previous helicopter could. On the flight deck, as the rotors slow and the helicopter lands with a steady thump, the silence is almost reverent. Engineers monitor readings, pilots run post-flight checks, and Marines stand in awe. Hundreds of thousands of parts, billions in R&D, and decades of engineering come together in one machine, a flying fortress that can lift tanks, transport troops, and dominate the battlefield with a quiet, awe-inspiring force. "It's more than a helicopter," says Lieutenant Commander Hughes, wiping sweat from his brow. "It's mobility, firepower, and survivability all in one. One aircraft, but it changes everything." Yet, even with all this power, one big question remains. What does the future hold for U.S. military aviation, and how will opponents respond to a helicopter that can do what was once impossible? What do you think? Could a machine this advanced live up to its price tag? And what would you expect from it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.